And just like that, we're back with another episode of the Hyperformance podcast. We were hoping to bring a bit more of an audio-visual experience. Some of you could be watching this on YouTube, just seeing the three floating heads and a bit of a banner, but there's going to be much more interactive audio-visual content coming, us reacting to training clips, just having a bit of visual stimuli as we yak about various internet beef.
So the first item of the agenda is you and I having a big Monday night at the Opera House as big men of culture.
Yeah. So you were out to see the War on Drugs. I was. Up in the city with Mirai to see Caroline Palachuk. I don't actually know if I'm saying that correctly. But yeah, because she was in the concert hall and we were just at the opera bar slamming a bit of sashimi and some piss. And then I was just see this cunt, just this aloof cunt, just like walking down the balcony above us. I'm like, fuck, that looks like Harvey. I filmed you for a bit and I was like meaning to send it to you. And then I was just like, I should just message him and see if he's about, because I was like, fuck, is he playing in some band like supporting the War on Drugs or something like that? And I'm like, I could see Harvey just going to see the War on Drugs. And sure enough, you're in the city.
Yeah, no, I am.
They didn't close with Red Eye. Just quickly, yeah. So let me give you a bit more context. Caroline, that's it. She wrapped up her show. It was about an hour job. So we were out there by about like 10:30, just as they were playing their last two songs. I don't actually know the title of the second last song. Sorry, or the last song. But I was just like, boys, where's Red Eye? Tell me they played Red Eye.
Oh, they played Red Eyes, don't you?
Did they play it twice? Were you at the big day out where Bloody Beetroots played Warp 1.9 twice in their set?
I was there.
That was good.
It was fucking massive.
That is still, sorry, I'll let you go in a second. That is still the best afternoon festival lineup of my fucking life. What was it? It started at like, I've never been to a festival where I was just literally there for the top ends of the bill, but the big day out back end, it was like, Vampire Weekend into Yeah Yeah Yeahs, into The Killers, into Red Hot Chili Peppers, into Bloody Beetroots. Bloody Beetroots dropped Warp 1.9 twice. I couldn't cope.
Yeah, that was fucking hectic. And I think, because was that the year that it was like a record hot day? Yeah. That was fucking mental. Because it was also the day I discovered Every Time I Die, because I watched them from the grandstands. I was just kicking back. I was like, I'm not doing any booze, not taking any drugs until 4 p.m. And then we just let loose for the final push. Did you catch Childish Gambino there, like touring his first album?
Was not interested whatsoever. Couldn't give a fuck. Have since
Childish Gambino's first album.
His early work.
His first album, honestly, it's probably my favorite thing of his. It's fucking ludicrous.
Is that the one with 3005 in it?
No, God, no. Like that's got
Or is that like his fucking fourth?
That's deep. It's got like Firefly, and there's a real big one on it though. Heartbeat. That's like a real fucking old one. But yeah, Heartbeat's like the big hit off that one.
Gonna write a little note to throw back and listen to some early Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
You rate Me and Your Mama, Matt?
Yes. To be honest with you, Gambino's one of those guys who like, every time I put him on, I'm like,
Awaken My Love. Sorry, that's the album name.
Yeah, no, Awaken My Love goes fucking hard. Like, they all go hard. He's just one of those guys, though. Like, he's so... Like, I think you need to just tune into Gambino just to see where he's at. You know what I mean? Every time there's an album out, you need to be like, what's going on with you? Where are you at creatively? And it's always going to be an adventure.
He's definitely talented and creative. I couldn't give less of a fuck about majority of his work. But even it's like, it is undeniable how talented he is, especially like when he pivoted into Awaken My Love, because he wasn't doing barely any singing on his albums before that, was he?
No, like he'll sing hooks and stuff. Like he's got a voice, but like, that's the thing. That's what I really loved about his first album, because it's like, and this is no easy way or like nice way to say this, but it's really smart. Like heaps of the things he says and heaps of like the lines and lyrical content, you're like, this is like rap music, but like not just about dumb shit. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he actually tells a story and he's like, this is who I am, this is what's going on. And like, yeah, he's just clearly a really fucking smart guy. But yeah, that's kind of why I dig his first album.
Nice. And how's the War on Drugs, and where was Red Eye placed in their set?
Okay, so here's the thing.
Segue.
I saw the War on Drugs maybe like, it was pre-COVID, maybe like 2018, 2019, something like that.
Barely,
and
yeah.
At the Enmore. And it blew my fucking mind. Like, hands down, the best sounding gig I've ever been to in my life. Like, it fucking blew me away. So like, I was ready to be a bit disappointed because, like, you know, any gig that's outside is difficult to nail sound wise, and you know, like,
true.
Yeah, so I was a bit skeptical going into it, but man, it was like same deal. It was just they are the best sounding band I've ever seen. Red Eyes was like maybe 3/4 through.
Okay.
But they played a lot.
They had
like
a full head of steam before they got into it.
Yeah.
Just for our listeners as well, can you explain, like, why the fuck is it so hard to get good sound in an open air show?
I mean, there's a lot of things to it. It's kind of just, and this is going to sound so wanky, right? But sound is vibrations, right?
That's deep.
Yeah.
Like that's literally what it is. No. It's literally what it is. It is frequencies traveling through air to your ears, right? So all of those factors in the air and in where you are like going to affect how the sound travels from the speakers.
Much more flux
to your ears,
I guess.
So like there's more factors at play anyway, like weather, everything else to do with it. But then on top of that, it's just purely that like sound reflects off things, right? Like, and in theory,
this is what I can't work out though, because as I'm imagining this, it's like the sound bounces off something, so therefore you hear it again. But that's what I mean.
But like venues are designed to sound good. Like they're designed so that things do reflect or don't reflect, or like, you know, built so acoustics, so sound travels to places or doesn't travel to places. And like the shape of a room affects how it sounds, like what it's made of affects how it sounds.
There's a whole science behind it.
There's massive amounts of science. And if you put something outside...
I remember when Steve Brown, he was enrolled in acoustics engineering at Sydney University for a bit, and he showed me one of their textbooks, and it was fucked.
Oh, 1,000,000%, 1,000,000%. And it's just one of those things, like, if you put something outside, you just start like taking away so many controllable variables, you know, and like, and it's kind of that way with anything. Like have you ever like taken a speaker or something and just like, as soon as you put it outside, its power is like diminished so much.
That's why they do the whole trend of putting it in a cup. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, this is valuable. Yeah.
No, bang on. So it's just that whole thing. You need more power. You need power in more directions. And it just like, it's a funny thing because in theory, you're like, it's 2023. Surely we can kind of nail this. But like, it's just a difficult thing to do.
It's like, I can't remember who was yakking to me about silent discos and how fucking lame they are. There was a part of me. It's like, yeah, with outdoor gigs, is it just about creating like not fucking full-blown headsets, but you know how they're making those speakers now that are attached to the sunglasses and they sort of just vibrate against a bone or just the corner of your ear sort of thing? Like,
right,
you wonder if that's sort of the solution. But again, like, then are we lacking that truly shared experience? Like, I know you're all there looking at the same shit, listening to it at the same time, but are we starting to dilute some of the magic that's a live show by going to that?
Yeah. And look, that's kind of it. I think it depends why you're there. And it depends on the act as well, because, you know, like, I'm sure some acts would like, and it's that whole thing we were saying before, the medium is the message. Like, are we almost holding back where art is going by not going there? You know what I mean? By not implementing new technology. But
if you want good sound, how about you stay the fuck at home and listen to the CD version? Maybe that's it as well, right? Like, aren't you there to hear it a bit shit and be like, oh yeah, this dude, 90% of bands will break your heart. 90% of bands, 90% of rappers will break your heart because you're like, this cunt is just too out of shape to entertain and sing their vocals or rap their lines. Kanye West, man, that was a little bit of a heartbreaker. Like, I don't want to take away from how hard it would be to run around that giant stage like a lunatic and not sound out of breath, but I probably could have had him a bit more stationary if it was to my taste.
Yeah, right. Totally. And that's it. Like, you know, the end of the day, it is difficult, and it's like, and I guess that's the trade off with Kanye as well. It's like he's such an unhinged character. Like, I'd imagine he wants his live show to kind of be whatever it is he's envisioning.
Did you see
know what I mean?
us?
Yeah, Kanye West. That was the year before. That was when we got those free tickets because the Maze did well in a band competition. Not well enough to actually get a record deal, but I think we each got given 10 tickets to Big Day Out, which was like fucking hectic. Yeah, because the organizer of Big Day Out was one of the judges.
That's crazy.
It was fucking huge, man. Your boy's been in some fucking rooms. But I was actually just about to say, did any of you get annoyed by that Lex Friedman cunt?
I don't know.
He's like the robot guy from MIT, and he went on Rogan a bunch of times, and Rogan was like, isn't he quirky? He's always wearing a suit. Hey, he must be a fucking genius. And so, like many people, Rogan was like, Lex, you've got to start a podcast. But this guy's like,
this guy's
like good at maths and making robots. He doesn't like tell cool stories, and he's not intelligent. As I'm just talking about someone else being not smart, I'm about to sound really stupid here, but like, he's not a good orator, I guess is the right word. Like, I don't know. He's just got this whole obsession about the power of love right now. And I'm like, man, this is like way less deep than what you think it is. And he's like, you know, he's like, have you ever thought about it? If everyone just loved each other, the world would be a bit better. I'm like, oh, fuck, Lex. That's like, you know, day one of thinking, of philosophizing. But Sam Harris went on his show because Lex Friedman had Kanye West on when he was in the middle of his mental episode where he kept going on about the Jews. Lex Friedman, to my knowledge, is a Jew. So I think he was sort of trying to break bread with him and be like, hey, Kanye, you know, I have faith in you as a friend that you're trying to make a good point here. Can you maybe re-clarify what you're saying? Being a little bit, he didn't say it, but the subtext was, I imagine, like, say what you wanted to say, but without the anti-Semitism sort of thing. But obviously Kanye was just, you know, in the full midst of a mental breakdown, and Sam Harris just went on the show, be like, what the fuck were you doing talking to a mentally ill man? Or you prove that he's not in a mental episode and he's just a prick. He's like, what the fuck was that about?
Yeah, right.
Oh, God, it was satisfying. Anyway, Sam Harris also a bit annoying. I don't know if that was a good tangent. Back to the faithful run sheet. Oh, actually, no. Do we have anything else to unpack from War on Drugs? Get home safe?
I got home safe. It was all good. But wait, how was Old Mate?
It was all right. It was actually really good. I do enjoy going to concerts that I never would have bought a ticket for. And I know a few of this lady's songs. She does a lot of shit with A.G. Cook and stuff like that. She wrote a lot for Beyonce back in the day and like was definitely familiar with the hits, but it was a little bit like, remember when we used to be critical of in like they'd write like a sick verse, sick chorus, and then they'd have this whole bridge that was like, like not write any words for it, just make a bunch of like, you know, not high pitched noises, but, you know, just sing a little bit of a melody, but like, it's just a bit mid. There was a lot of that, like, you know, Florence Welch, she'll just be like, all right, here's a couple of words, decent hook. And then let me just go like for a few minutes. And it's nice, but it is very much, I think you need MDMA to really harness those moments.
Yeah, right. Okay.
But like fucking flawless vocalist live. Like amazing sounding room, had enough of a live band, but then didn't sacrifice production, still had backing tracks and stuff like that, but like fucking flawless vocals. It was also weird. Like we got standing tickets and like from memory, I'd never seen a pit in the Opera House. I was like, this is going to be interesting. Not that it would have been a hectic pit at Carolyn Polachek, but the standing section, I swear they only sold like 8 standing tickets. It was just like in the aisles near the top. So it was good because you could have a bit of a dance and stuff like that. But it was weird having like 99% of the people there seated. And then, it sort of, I wasn't even sure how the standing didn't sell out because like the allocation would have been like less than 10 tickets and we bought ours the day before. Had an awesome time out.
Yeah, sick. No, it's funny. Because when you told me you were going to see her, I messaged a couple other people who I was like, they might be at the War on Drugs. And then pretty much all of them were like, no, I'm going to see this Caroline person. I was like, who is this woman that everyone's
she's been around the traps writing for a lot of people? Because Mirai was saying she's like 38 now and she really only had like her breakout album, I think 2 years ago. Okay. And she also Yeah, I have a feeling she released her debut works in the middle of the global shutdown because she did mention that she was unable to tour her first album here. So she was playing a little bit more of the old stuff.
Yeah, right. A bit of a Sia situation where she's been like behind the scenes writing for people forever.
That's a good comparison.
Very similar.
To wrap up this segment, by the way, the Zoomer disappoints once again. I muted myself on Zoom. Try to see any War on Drugs song and couldn't recognize a single one. So
I don't expect you to
apologies again.
They're one of those bands where, similar to the Rolling Stones, you could be into them and still not be able to name a track. I can only name, what's that one song? So there's obviously Red Eye. Red Eye fucking rips. What's that other song? Fever Dream?
They've got one called
11 minutes.
They've got one called An Ocean Between the Waves. Which gets me.
I don't live here anymore. I had to listen to Red Eyes.
That's a big tune. Red Eyes is huge. Basically,
Wait, Harvey. Jacob, what you need to do with Red Eye, see where they get you, it's a double verse. They need to build an immense amount of tension before he just goes, woo, and then rips that little riff, and you're just like, hell yeah, dopamine release. It's
yeah. So the way I really discovered the War on Drugs, well, like, I actually saw them years and years and years ago at Falls Festival because they were like the only band on any of us had heard of, like first in the day. But anyway, then they are one of those bands who played Red Eyes on Letterman, and the world just went like it was one of those things I saw everywhere. Like they were like, oh my God, check this band out. They just fucking nailed Letterman. And I watched it and was just fucking hooked from then on. For
so many people who have dud music taste, it's like War on Drugs will be the only like mad shit that they're into.
Yeah. It's funny. It's real funny. And they've got an album. They've got a live album that's just called Live Drugs. It's amazing.
That's nice.
It's,
like my former roommate, who was just like full blown party animal, only listened to EDM, was a DJ, also had a bit of a thing for the War on Drugs.
That's
like that. It's just the best way to describe it. It's like everyone's just like, oh yeah, Red Eye, give me some of that.
Yeah.
Why don't we just scrap the run sheet? Let me just give you guys a songwriting masterclass, or like bounce some of my thoughts off Harvey, who actually knows how to write songs. But fucking, you know who else loves a double verse before just ripping into it? Because you've got to have discipline to hold off for 2 verse lengths, especially if you've written a good chorus. The Strokes. Well, primarily, I think it's Julian's writing everything that I like from the Strokes. But they loved ripping. Not only do they love ripping a double verse into a sick chorus, they'll drop guitar solo after the first chorus, which super fucking horny. The other thing you'll do, write some mad lyrics for the first verse, is like, fuck it, we'll just dust it off and sing it again after the first chorus. Just repeat the first verse. Doesn't do it all the time, but just if you've done a good job of writing a solid verse and then I guess a 1B verse and then a sick chorus, doesn't get better in my opinion.
It's the same as What's the Story, Morning Glory by Oasis. It's the same verse twice.
Is it?
Yeah.
Respect. Yeah. No, good songwriter. I think good songwriters, like they know when they've done, they're like, am I going to write a better second verse? And 90% of the time it's no. You can be a very good songwriter and consistently never deliver on your second verses.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, man. I think it's like these lyrics in general are like kind of the hardest bit. Like I don't think you can really. I mean, you can work on it, but I don't know if you can teach it.
Consistently, every metalcore band I listen to, I'm like, this is fucking mad. As soon as you start paying attention to lyrics, it's like, fuck, why'd I do that? Again, it's so hard to write that kind of music without some sort of cringe lyricism.
And it's funny, and like this might be controversial given the topic of the fucking podcast, but that's like one of the things I actually love about music is that like it's not a sport. Like it's never about who plays the quickest or the fastest or whatever. It's like,
nah, come on. Every young guitarist has that moment where they discover Yngwie Malmsteen or however you say, and you're like, oh my God.
But what I mean is that for every person like that, there is someone who's just like, I've got something, I'm going to say, here's my guitar, does it, says their thing, and then, fucking Arctic Monkeys' first album, case in point. Or like, even like...
Wait, what's so bad about the musicianship on that?
Nothing bad about it, but like what I'm saying is that like it's all about the lyrical content and like, or it doesn't necessarily all about it, but like what I mean is none of them are like astonishing guitar players. Do you know what I mean? Like...
Fair enough. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like it's kind of like they got guitars and then he told some stories about where he's from and everything else. And like
just the storytelling was A1.
It just kind of resonated with the world and they became the biggest band in the fucking world. Do you know what I mean?
Were they that big? Actually, AM was fucking huge. But before AM, were they that big?
Well, it's hard to quantify biggest band in the world, but what I mean is like they literally like put their songs up on MySpace and then had a queue round the fucking door from the pub like a few weeks later. And they were like, what the fuck is this? And it just like
so that was a MySpace come up.
They're like the fucking MySpace band, yeah.
Wow.
MySpace.
I'm pretty sure they're MySpace, but it was like one of those where like someone chucked their demo up somewhere and then it went huge.
Oh no, Block Party was probably too early for MySpace. Not that much before it, but I wonder if Block Party might have been another MySpace come up. But I just feel like they were sort of happening.
Would have been Block Party to me, yeah.
Too early.
No, Block. That's way pre 2005. Silent Alarm's like,
nah, it's not.
I'm telling you, because I was in the UK. I'm pretty sure.
Block Party were actually in Australia recently, but not the Block Party we know. Obviously, members in there. More membership changes than the fucking Smashing Pumpkins.
I think Silent Alarm might have been like 2001 or 2.
Yeah, fucked. Oh, Silent Alarm, Block Party. I went back and listened to. Do you remember Skeleton?
Yeah.
Rips. Oh, come on, 2004. No, released February 2nd, 2005. Suck it.
Was it really? That's crazy.
It's permanently burnt into my head because I just remember the surf movie that came out where I discovered Block Party. It was just Taylor Steele, 2005. Pretty sure.
Yeah, right.
Did that come out when I was in year 7? Fuck. That was hectic. I discovered Block Party and Muse all from the one surf movie. There would have been 2 other, like from that movie specifically, 2 other of my favorite all-time bands. Because it wasn't that one. I think it was the next Taylor Steele movie where where I found out about Justice for the first time.
Yeah, right.
And then finally accepted that electronic music was real music. Fuck, that was a time ago.
That's cool though. Like, do you think that there's a lot of people in your position that like discovered a lot of music through surf movies?
Oh man, Carry On was on so many Australian surf movies when I was in when did Carry On come out? That probably would have been like midway through high school for us. Was it? That sort of feels like about
probably.
The time. Parkway Drive.
Yeah.
Smashed. What about Regurgitator?
Yeah, okay.
Fucking used to get absolutely slammed on Aussie surf movies. But Taylor Steele wasn't Australian. But again, Taylor Steele movies, they were the best surf movies. And they all just had I'm talking a little bit more underground than Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 level of songs. Or maybe Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 actually blew a few of those bands up. I'd actually be very curious to see how many of those bands were real big things or how much did Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 help them?
Yeah. Well, because I remember Body Jar had a song on 3.
They would have been all over it as well. Yeah, surf movies definitely got a fair bit of Body Jar.
Yeah, right.
Obviously there's crossover there.
I actually played a gig with them a while ago.
Get fucked.
And it was us, Body Jar, Eskimo Joe, and someone else. I can't remember, but Body Jar were honestly the surprise package of the fucking day. They were sick. They were so fucking tight. The only thing
that's going to happen to you as you band ages is your singer might lose his voice. You might get meatloafed. But in a certain sense, you can play guitar and drums till you roll over and die. A long set might do you in a little bit, but, isn't that surprising?
Well, it's more just you might lose the conviction or the will to do it so much. Yeah. And but they were just on. They were tight as fuck. Harmonies were banging. And everyone's tones were just sick. The singer literally went fucking Gibson SG, Boss tuner on the floor, straight into a Marshall JCM 900. And I was just bad motherfucker.
So that Rig Rundown episode on YouTube is all of about 30 seconds.
But his tone was huge.
No, I respect it, yeah.
I spent the whole time being oh, yeah.
Is that it? Is that the secret to good tone? It's actually just buy a good guitar, plug it into a quality amp, forget about the fucking pedal nonsense.
No, do you want to know the secret to tone? And this is the one thing that I don't know, it's if it's the best kept secret or like everyone's just in denial about it. But tone is in your fingers.
I thought you were going to drop some sort of like scoop of the mids on us.
No. It's not technical at all. Tone is in your hand.
I agree with you because I remember I bought a bass, and when I bought that fucking heinous flamed maple thing, the Fender jazz bass, people won't, if you know music, so many people have denied to me that this bass even existed. I'm like, no, it existed. I owned it. I had a lot of trouble trying to sell it. I basically ended up giving it away. I had a flamed maple. That's very believable. They make a bunch of horrible colorways, Fender. They have historically. It was a 24 fret flamed maple J bass with active pickups, which is, I didn't understand the vulgarity of what I was purchasing for Christmas that year. Or was it a Christmas present? I think I actually bought that with my first dishwashing gig. But fuck me, that thing was heinous. I'm sorry, I don't know how I got onto that. There was a point I was going to make about something.
No,
sorry. And as much of a heinous creation as that thing was, I remember when I went to my first bass lesson with Zoltan, and Zoltan was like, "Oh, cool new bass, man. Give me a go of the thing." And he just made it sound so much fucking better than I did. And then handed it back to me. Instantly, the bass transforms back into the piece of crap that it was. Oh.
Yeah, it's funny. I think that's the thing, and it's weird working in a guitar shop as well with that whole knowledge, because like it's the same thing, man.
Have you ever like picked it up out of the kid's hands and be like, "Hey, you like Thunderstruck?" And he's like, "Oh, Daddy, please buy it." Like, were you doing that to people?
Not so much, but like if a kid comes in and like I'm like tuning a guitar for them or whatever before they try it, I always have like a little bit of a shred before I give them it, just because they love it, because they usually just kind of go like, "Oh." But it's also
little one.
But it's also that way where like it's partially for me to be like,
you like that? Hey, you like that?
It's kind of for me to be like, do not be scared about making noise in here. Like, go for fucking broke. Like, I'm gonna make a lot of noise so you don't feel weird about it. You know?
No, I got that sense from a lot of people who sort of let me play instruments in the store. I've sort of picked up on those vibes. That's a very great thing you're doing there. Just fucking stunting on those kids.
Well, it's
like,
that
give
thing.
it to me. Like, no, I'll hand it over in a second. Just go get through the third solo in one by Metallica. Give me that.
Also, can I ask a question? Why do they have that forbidden song for? Is that just some weird ritual or?
What, Stairway to Heaven?
Yeah.
It's just a joke from fucking Wayne's World, but just because there was a while where like you couldn't be in a guitar shop without hearing it. So like guitar shop employees are just like, no more.
I see heaps of like videos of like them literally getting offended, like, "Yo, stop. Like, stop, man."
Dude did that to me in HSC Music with Schism by Tool. And like, he was right. No. Okay. So he was right. He was like, fucking bass player. What are you playing for HSC? Fucking Schism. And mentally I was just like, fuck. Like, but it's like, what else are you going to fucking play?
Yeah.
What the fuck else?
No, for sure.
Especially the bass player. Cool. I'll do something even more out of pocket. Let me go play some Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I did. That's where we landed. We got booted out of Schism and we landed right in Aeroplane.
I'm pretty sure plays fucking old Chili Pepper songs for his HSC though.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was literally thinking about it this week. I was like, why did I let that get to me so much? I'm like, he was just the dude in a couple of years above us at school.
Yeah, but it's high school,
also legend of a perfectly. Yeah. This isn't a shot at his character. It's a shot at
totally
how insecure I was back in the day. But
man.
Went back on a Tool kick recently. Fuck, it hits.
Yeah, no, totally. Wait, Jacob, what was your question though?
Yeah, why is it? Why are the shop owners like so? Like,
I didn't actually know
literally breaking the guitar. That's how they react.
This is funny though, because I didn't know people actually got upset about that, but because I talk to the boys in the shop about this all the time, right? Because it's not Stairway anymore. Like the ones in terms of like, you don't hear Stairway very often. The most common things you hear are "Do I Want to Know" by Arctic Monkeys, and
Smoke on the Water.
No, you don't even get that so much anymore. You get a little bit of Seven Nation Army, but you get a lot of John Mayer. A lot of people going for slow dancing in the burning room. But like, you got to be able to play a little bit, or think you can play a little bit before.
They should make it mandatory. Every guitar test is just the riff from "Sorry You're Not a Winner" by Enter Shikari. Fucking like, I still can't identify a better riff across any
huge.
genre of music, across any era.
It's huge.
Show me a riff that is like just is better. That just instantly like, oh yeah, no doubt. There's riffs that come close, but fuck, it's good.
There was like a solid like month or two there where, and it was kids. So many kids came in and played the intro to Better Call Saul.
Oh, that's all right. That's pretty cool.
It was really cool, but apparently it took off on TikTok. But I was like, what the fuck is going on?
The brainwashing system, yeah.
It was fucking bonkers.
That's pretty good. Maybe we'll do a special. We'll go through 10 sweetest riffs with the boys. Well, that'd be lame. I think I'm out at Enter Shikari. Oh, actually, sorry, just one last point. And I think I've made this point already or told this story on the show several times. I don't know if I've bounced it off you. Maybe I haven't told it on the show. Harvey, Enter Shikari with where they're currently at musically. When the fuck did they turn into a bullshit version of the Wombats?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I haven't listened to an Enter Shikari album since I kind of lost interest after I listened to a bit of the one after Common Dreads.
Oh, dude, I'll be honest. I lost interest halfway through Sorry You're Not a Winner. It's just the front half of that track so fully loaded. Like, I was just like, got to pay him some respect.
They went hyper political for a while. I don't know if they still are.
No. So it's not, I don't know about the lyrical content because I always try my best to tune that out. It literally went like soft indie pop rock.
Oh, God.
Like in the worst way. It was such an aggressively horrible departure from their original sound. Like the original sound was like, at the time, I thought pretty groundbreaking. Like a lot of electronic sound, sort of referencing dance music a lot, still just like fat riffs, a lot of screaming. And then they just, really went like, don't like me. But it wasn't like whiny emo. It was like indie poppy. And
that's interesting. I saw a picture of them maybe a couple years ago now, but like, I don't really know how to put this and not sound like a total just like judgmental shithead, but like I just could tell by what they were wearing. I was like, what's happened to you lot?
Yeah, no.
Like, they just...
Your assessment was correct.
Yeah, just for a band that used to be so like, did what they fucking wanted. You know what I mean? It
couldn't work out though, because people like always are like, selling out sort of thing. But I'm like, I don't know that this can be considered selling out. Like, I guess it is because in a certain sense, they pivoted into a more commercial style, but it was in such violation. Like, I cannot imagine that they're playing their early stuff at their concerts. It has to have been a complete departure. Or like, they would literally have to like change clothes and get haircuts halfway through the set. Otherwise, it just wouldn't make sense what you're seeing.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess you'd have to hear the stuff in between. Like maybe they gradually descended into it.
Maybe, yeah. I should go back into the middle of the albums. But I feel like, because I dug up the Enter Shikari, like I started listening to Sorry You're Not a Winner in the middle of Shutdown. And then I was just like, are they still about sort of thing? I was like, oh, they have released some albums recently. But then, I didn't sort of check in at any midway point and be like, oh, they're already halfway there. And they just threw away a couple of distortion pedals.
Yeah, I don't know. They I quite often put like the first maybe 3 or 4 tracks of Common Dreads on when I'm running, just because it gets me fucking G'd up.
Surely that gets the run done way too quick.
Well, I'm all about getting the anger and angst out of me whilst I'm running, so I need to get it fucking happening.
Fair enough. I did when I was trying to break the 5-minute mile, which I failed. I put in Bullet in the Head because I think that's like 5 minutes 30. And like, the tail end of that song is all you need if you're going to break a 5-minute mile, which I had no shot at. It's just one of my clients got close and I was like, how hard can that be? Maybe need to take a second shot. What did we go in push pull run? 5:30.
You did 5:30. I did like 5:33, 35.
If I actually start running miles, probably could take maybe not 30 seconds off it, but how much can you get out of actually training for a mile?
But yeah, I think 30 seconds is such a long time to really shave off.
Yeah. I feel like you get 15 seconds just with some real deliberate mile running. Any more than that.
That last 15, that would be tough.
Yeah. Maybe I've got more of a base for that than I thought. Anyway, enough about the music. People probably ripping their ears out listening to our uninformed. People just want to hear us talk about sport and fitness. So what the fuck's going on in sport and fitness this week? .1B. I got a handstand PB.
Yeah, you did. Talk us through it. How'd it go? How'd it
Sorry
feel?
to pivot back into music, but I was actually pretty impressed. I was smashing some NLE Chopper.
NLE Chopper.
Yeah, and like still, I was Jacob knows. I was just in that handstand, like, because normally I'll select the more zen track when I'm trying to just go into that headspace you need to be to, like, I guess be water once you're upright in that handstand, but just had NLE Chopper blasting in the background. And I knew when he went from like the tail end of a verse through a chorus and then got a good way through the next verse, I was like, we are fucking on here. Like, I was living lives. Entire generations of my family were coming and going, all while I was inverted. Like, it just 50 seconds. I cannot explain how much it stretches out. All I knew, like, because my old PB was 38 seconds, and I was like, it's just, I count backwards. Once I've been up for a bit, I'm like, okay, this is a good one. Then I start counting backwards through my head, trying to count like 10 seconds at a time. I know I'm going faster, but I got through like 3 full 10-1 counts. I was like, we're fucking on. Had I known, because I kind of gave it up. I could have, usually with my PB attempts, I am done by the end of it. Like, I overcorrect, and then I don't have the hand, wrist, or finger strength to correct myself, because if you stay pretty stiff through the body, or you can relax a little bit, but like, it really just is about like adjusting your hand pressure to just bring yourself back to center. And because it had been such a good one, I didn't fight for it as hard as I could have, because I knew I locked in the PB. But yeah, I didn't think I was that close to a minute. And I just know, because the stage I'm getting at now, I'm a real advanced handstand guru. The stage I'm at now, it's like, it's just so much effort to get to the point where you're nearing the record time. And I'm going to get there. I'm not giving up now, sort of thing. But
can I ask what NLE
I wonder how long it's going to be before I'm that close to a minute again. Could be a couple of weeks, which is really fuck all in the grand scheme of things. So I guess I'll just keep going. What was that, Jacob?
Can I ask what NLE Chopper song? That's the last person I thought you'd say.
Final Warning.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Guess who I got the track off?
Who?
Sexy Marcel. Marcel was posting some red hot bend clips. Final Warning playing. And it was just because it was when he was on his comeback, when Fred Curley was talking heaps of shit, be like, he's gone back to long jump. But Marcel was like, still here, bitches.
NLE Chopper is the secret to handstand duration.
Maybe. It's a max out block clean song for me, massively.
Yeah, I didn't know you dabbled.
I alternate between Final Warning and Love Sosa on a bit of hate being sober. That's where I'm at with block cleans right now. Every now and then spills into the gymnastics work. I should make a playlist GPP, but it would be pretty eclectic.
Yeah, it'd be all over the shop from what the start of the podcast chat was.
And how's this? I've been hanging out with powerlifters too much. Now I've been smashing Linkin Park again, and like, I don't feel that guilty about it, honestly.
Which album?
Oh, a bit of everything. Why? No, talk to me.
If it's Hybrid Theory, respect.
No, yeah. But I'll do a bit of like, what's the other one?
Meteora?
Yeah. There's some like cringe good shit on Meteora.
Yeah, it's funny because I had this opinion for ages that Linkin Park didn't stand the test of time, and I completely take it back. I think it holds up. I think it fucking slams.
Yeah, come on. Faint.
What's a good Linkin Park song?
Faint not doing anything for you? I think they just... Am I speaking out of turn by calling them new metal?
No, God, they're textbook new metal.
No. Okay, so like, I just wanted to double check before I made this real hard statement. I feel like when you're a genre-defining band, you are automatically a caricature of yourself. Because like it's a bit. Don't get me wrong. Anyone who's like, Linkin Park rolls their eyes. I get it, 100%. Cringe is just. It's cringe because it's so real, you know.
It's cringe in that way where like, this is gonna sound weird, right? See that whole period of music, that whole new metal time period, where even the metal guys are rapping. Yeah. Fucking bizarre. Yeah. How did that happen? But the thing about it is that like, that's what it is. It's guys.
The bars are heinous. Who's the rapper in Linkin Park? Heinous bars.
That's what I mean. It's guys with no right to be rapping.
Dude,
trying to rap
is just just the worst bars I've ever heard. The worst bars in the best track. Lead it out. Go find me a better overall song with worse lyrics from the rapper. I don't think it can be done. I challenge any man. Heat up the speak pipe if you're aware of something that was genuinely commercially successful. I don't want to hear like your mate's obscure new metal band that posted a few tracks to MySpace in the fucking early 2000s. I want to talk about like a band, rapper, or in the new metal space, or just regular metal with worse bars on a better track.
Yeah, and it's funny because that style of like slow kind of bad rapping is the whole genre. You know what I mean?
Not really slow, but he's almost like more of a hype man than and that's the thing. I didn't know whether to fully categorize him as a rapper, the guy in Linkin Park, or as I say, is he more like the guy from Prodigy who's just there for the energy? Because even the lyrics in Bleed It Out, it's kind of like, all right, everyone, let's get this going. Woo! Like it's just please. Like I'm already going, man. Like
no, you're right. It's like Linkin Park on the quicker side of things, but I guess when I think about the genre, I'm like Papa Roach, slow bars, Limp Bizkit, slow bars. And like even by rapper standards, Linkin Park aren't quick. But that's why I always thought Slipknot were like I've kind of stood the test of time the hardest, or like where for various reasons. But like
he's the most tasteful.
He could keep up with the rappers. He was fucking quick. Like some of his bars, especially in the early days, like he is spitting and he's not talking about the same stuff, but like, yeah, he's fucking quick.
See, as much as I'd love to sit across from you guys and tell you about the time I got back into Papa Roach, it never left the rotation.
But that's the thing. Like, I'm with you. Like, they're another like running rotation band for me. Like, I'll put some of Infest on, like Dead Cell goes fucking hard, but that's what I mean. It's a solid, like, kind of like rock metal track. Like the riffs are banging, but it's just like the rapping makes no sense. But it works. It's just a bizarre period for music,
I just alternate between Last Resort and Blood Brothers.
Blood Brothers is huge. Blood Brothers is
so good. So good.
Guitar tones on the album are
the horniest palm muting ever.
Dude, Jerry Horton is a bad man. He's a bad man.
I can't believe you know his name. That's disgusting.
My brother was pretty obsessed with Papa Roach back in the day.
Your older brother?
Yeah.
I'm not judging the man. We're only human, right?
But I feel like that was one of the. I could be wrong, but that was like I think one of the very first albums he bought, like of his own accord. You know what I mean?
I wish I could say something. Actually, no. My first album was tasteful. It was tasteful-ish. Young and the Hopeless, Good Charlotte.
Oh yeah, there's guitars on that. Yeah.
It was a good album. I don't want to say it stands the test of time, but like there was enough tracks on there, and
there's undeniable tunes on it.
Yeah,
totally. And we've all got like a few cringy things we've all, but like that was like one of the first. I'm pretty sure I was on the first album.
Shit, I've got in rotation now. Hold on, let me just air out some dirty.
The fuck, that is a dangerous
fucking confessional. There'll be stuff that I don't name. Watch this.
How did your Spotify Wrapped go? Did it surprise you or?
Oh, dude, but I don't get Spotify Wraps. Mine's broken. It thinks it's my Spotify app will in about 3 months. I'll get my Wrapped from 2022. My Spotify, as much as I praise Spotify and like, it's got a better algorithm than any fucking other music streaming app, it is 15 months behind on my Wrapped.
Oh, that's so
I'll let you know. I'll let you know in March.
My Wrapped is always just ruined because I use it to like learn songs on or like teach people shit.
Okay. Oh no, yeah, that would bring some heinous stuff into your algorithm. True Friends by Bring Me the Horizon. Slightly ashamed of how much I've been thrashing that.
Okay. I mean, it's a lot of people thrashing that.
It's not that bad. Yeah. I wouldn't, if it was that bad, I wouldn't fucking say it. Who am I kidding?
Can I ask Gus, because I know you used to be a big fan.
Oh no.
Are One Direction still in your
Nah. I thought you were gonna say I thought you were gonna ask me about Taking Back Sunday, but then I realized I actually helped you discover them when you're in the UK recently. I could not believe you didn't know Taking Back Sunday. Do you know how many times Weekend Pants covered Taking Back Sunday? Probably like 2 times outside Alex Carling's bedroom, but know that it happened. Anyway, let's get back to evidence-based news. It's evidence-based news update with the boys. Fucking evidence-based physio is just in absolute tatters this morning. It's been ripped apart. There's been a schism. Adam Meekins and Lehman are fighting like it's Kassem and Paul Carter about fucking lengthened. What do they have their falling out over? Their big
acupuncture.
No. I was saying, what did Kassem and Paul Carter have their big falling out over? And it was, do the traps get worked by shrugs? Which is fucking hilarious. Of course they do.
And then a bunch of other people weighed in and it was like, fuck.
A bunch of other dickheads weighed in.
The most pointless fucking debate of all time.
But yeah, so what's happened? We all know Adam Meekins always pretty critical of, what a lot of people consider low value care options for physio treatments, which, according to Adam is basically everything because
can I butt in here for a second? Bit of context for those who don't know. Who are these people?
Oh, right. No, Harvey, you're the only one listening to this podcast who doesn't know who those people are.
I don't know, man. You'd be surprised.
Let me stop it. Like, it's funny. That was a good bit. No, all right. No, you're right. You made a good point. That's funny, though. It was both funny and a good point.
You'll notice this is on the run sheet. This is point 1 of this segment.
Yes, we're not going by the Bible.
No, 1B. We're at 1B on the run sheet. So Greg Lehman is... he's the godfather of movement optimism. So, and I don't know if it's something that came from physiotherapy. No, I guess it did in a big way. That we used to think that we had to be very careful about the way people moved, not just under load with weights, both the way people run, just the way people move about their workplace, even that there were certain movement strategies that were safe and certain ways to move your body, again, especially under load, or at high velocities that were deemed unsafe. There is almost no supporting evidence to prove this. Most studies on this trying to show, for example, lifting strategies in the workplace. We used to think lift with your legs, not your back. Turns out lifting with a stoop posture, which is essentially like lifting with a slouched spine, expends far less or statistically significantly less calories than lifting with a straight back. It also cannot be demonstrated in humans that lifting with a rounded spine leads to more injuries and stuff like that. I'm explaining too much of the research without explaining who Lehman is. Sorry. One other thing is they haven't been able to demonstrate that you can keep a neutral spine while lifting. Yada. Anyway, so Greg Lehman, what he is renowned for, he studied under McGill, who I would say is like the godfather of making people freak out about the way they move. Yeah, he studied under
Thank you, Harvey, for bringing this up and this backstory. I didn't know that.
Again, backstory. So Lehman, I believe he studied chiro initially, but he's a chiro and a physio. He studied both. But that's why people revere him so much, because not only is he the godfather of movement optimism, just be like, hey, none of this shit's been proven. It's actually scientific to just be like, yeah, just do it however it feels best. Or again, you can make the argument that certain strategies may be more efficient, but all movement strategies seem equally safe. And what is the most unsafe thing is making people scared of the way they move, because most people not moving enough, and that's what's leading to people like literally fucking dying young. So it's like, again, big thing is just encouraging people to move first and foremost. Lehman's a true legend because not only does he see things this way now, but he came from that real old school McGill, don't bend your spine, otherwise you'll die and you deserve your pain, yada, yada, yada. Adam Meekins is Lehman's brightest pupil. So Lehman was the supervisor for a lot of Adam Meekins' postgraduate work. Adam Meekins now has a much larger social media following than Lehman, but they're considered, they're pretty much on the same terms. But Lehman does really reign in Meekins, because Lehman's whole thing, which is very scientific, is to never be that certain. And it's a pretty good, if you never want to be wrong when it comes to any scientific field, avoid certainty. And Lehman does that. And like some people could say it's a cop-out, but it is very, very, it really sets you up for success in the long run if you're like, I don't know about this. And that's essentially what he does. But he feels like Adam Meekins has gone too in on dry needling. So is it dry needling or acupuncture?
Acupuncture.
acupuncture.
Yeah.
No, see, this is the thing, because Adam Meekins was going, and they're the same fucking thing to me, right? But Adam Meekins, I believe, was going in on dry needling. The research that Lehman was referencing was on acupuncture, no?
No, I think. Wait, let me just go back.
So what the argument actually is, and what Lehman has called out Meekins on, is Meekins has said that
Meekins said acupuncture
is useless for pain injuries, generally speaking. They can't split the difference between the intervention of dry needling and they're just regression to the mean. So what regression to the mean means is like if you just let someone get better on their own. Dry needling perform the same as that. And what people are promoting most for treatment of a lot of musculoskeletal injuries is just graded exposure through exercise. And everyone's loved it because even if you can't demonstrate the efficacy of resistance training, there's so many secondary health benefits that's why a lot of people just jump in on it. They're like, well, yeah, dry needling, exercise, shockwave treatment, fuck it, name your intervention. It's all sort of the same. So let's just go with exercise because you get this whole host of like, it's inexpensive. They can do it to themselves. It can be inexpensive. They can learn to do it for themselves. There's all these secondary health benefits. So even if it's not the best treatment, again, you catch a bunch of other things that are really good alongside it. But Lehman sort of called him out and be like, well, why are we shitting on dry needling? Because we haven't proven exercise to be any more effective. And like, yeah, you can bang on about secondary health benefits all you want, but that's actually not what we're talking about. We're talking about musculoskeletal injury. Adam Meekins is pissed off because he feels like he's being mischaracterized. Obviously, I'm reading Instagram comments. I don't know how actually pissed off he is, but I sense that he wasn't joking about it. He was actually a bit cheesed off that Lehman's come for him. Lehman as well has got his tits in a twist over a few things recently, but I don't want to chastise Lehman for being petty because we're talking to Angus Bradley here.
I think the main consensus is that Lehman called out Meekins for not living by his evidence-based sword and dying by the sword. I think that was the main sort of attack because he didn't bother to do research about the effects of acupuncture, which is what I'm seeing from here.
But you know what's annoying? Okay, and I agree with Lehman. You know what's annoying about Lehman, other than the fact that he skateboards in his half-a-foot half pipe with a fucking suspension vest? Like, what? Hell, man. Haven't you seen that?
No.
Anyway, the point I'd be like, hey, Lehman, you sticking any needles in anyone this week in the clinic? Nah.
Yeah.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That's also, again, respect to both of them, but like fucking hell. The way the evidence-based community, I say that in the inverted commas or bunnies, the way it just self-fucking digests. Like, what the fuck is this debate about? I guess it's just...
I know. Do you also think that Meekins threw this post up for just comment and rage bait? Like,
yeah. I mean, that's all his content, isn't it?
Because I bet you as he saw this... because it all started with acupuncture getting banned because of some pneumothorax disease or not disease.
Oh yeah, so the UK. What's the UK public health thing?
The Acupuncture NHS. Association of
the NHS. No, yeah. So the NHS, I think, is now not supporting any dry needling proximally. So you're still allowed to dry needle distal structures. And I'm guessing that this will affect physios, chiros, whoever's doing this needling, their insurance. So I to my understanding, there's going to be a point where they won't be insured for any needling they do of the proximal structure, but you'll be able to do it distally. Again, because they just feel like for the potential upsides, there's just too much of a risk of like puncturing the lung or doing something hectic.
Risk to reward, yeah. And then I feel like this slide in particular is where Meekins got caught with his pants down, which was a perfect alley-oop for Lehman to
metaphorical pants down, I must stress.
Sorry, yes. No nudity was posted by Meekins, but yeah, the slides like physiotherapy should pride themselves on evidence-based scientific knowledge in an adaptable profession, and then that's where he slid that study right into
I've said it before and I said it again. Pretty much every injury now, when it comes to evidence-based treatment, if you want to go like hardcore, bare bones evidence-based, it's like, all right, you shitting your pants? Nah, all right, go back home. It will sort itself out.
Yeah.
That's literally, sorry, that's speaking of back injuries. Like, that's literally it, Harvey. New thing on back injuries is like, unless you're like literally like walking around, legs going numb, shitting your pants accidentally, they're like, you are fine. This will just get better on its own.
Yeah, right.
And like, honestly, like, no matter how you slice the evidence, that's sort of what comes out of it pretty much every time.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Physio, I am not envious of physios, and respect to the evidence-based physios, because I feel like they used to feel like wizards with all these machines and magic potions and cool tools and they used to be like, oh, these personal trainers don't know shit, eh? Hey, just fucking letting everyone lift with their slouchy shoulders and rounded spines. And now look at them. They're hanging in here, just acting like a bunch of personal trainers. But again, it is evidence-based practice. I want to commend them on that, but like, I don't want to call it a fall from grace, because again, physio is, you know, as a profession, is self-correcting itself alongside the evidence. But
someone's got to read the research,
painful journey.
because I can't be fucked.
Nah,
someone's got.
Sorry, someone else. Sorry, Grant Fowler. Shout out, friend of the show. Grant Fowler raised this point. He was like, man, if it was anyone, because everyone's just like jacking Lehman off, because a lot of people don't like Meekins because he is abrasive. Overall, the brand of Lehman, I would say, is a bit less abrasive, and people are just jerking it to Lehman, reining Meekins in. But it's like, if anyone else made the exact same point as Lehman did, just said the exact same thing, everyone would have written him off as something, just like a dry needling sympathizer. Like, Lehman's stocks are so high in the evidence-based community that he was the only one who had the power to do that.
Yeah.
But if Jacob went in and made that point, which is a true point, that, like, you know, dry needling, according to the research, when it comes to solving pain, musculoskeletal injury, just as good as regression to the mean.
I feel like if you're going to make an argument, you got to make sure you got like a body of like, you can really justify anything if you're that big or have a cult.
Just that the evidence-based community, and again, of course, it's flawed. Like, I'm criticizing it because it's like, it's not the hierarchy of evidence, it's people. And it's that being evidence-based is a marketing term now. Everyone's still just appealing to authority. And like, again, I try not to be critical of that, because at the end of the day, like, that's why I like people like John Kiley. I appeal to his authority. Like, I just have this faith, like literal faith to the definition of the word. Same way people have faith in Jesus, I have faith in John Kiley, that when he's saying he read all the research on periodization, he did. Because he speaks about it quite differently. And the way he speaks about it happens to align with my worldview. And I'm not reading all that fucking research.
Yeah.
And like, so this is it. Like, I try not to be too critical of the way the evidence-based community appeals to authority like that. But I'm like, fuck, like, it's a thing that they're so critical of other people for just being, oh, you just have this guru. It's just like, yeah, well, here's your evidence-based gurus. They're not actual gurus. They're just the people that everyone whose authority they appeal to. Lehman, Mike Israetel, Lane Norton, Dr. Nadolski. That's about it, isn't it? Are they the evidence-based Avengers? There's probably a few others. Probably like Bill Campbell, Alan Aragon. No, but John Kiley, he's pretty niche still. John Kiley, that's some new shit. If you're into John Kiley.
Really? I thought he was, he's not really mainstream.
No, he's been around the traps. So he's a legend of the game. And if you got your finger on the pulse, you'll be aware of him. But there's a lot of people who you'd view as trainers who have their shit together reasonably, who are like John Who.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So he's not at the level, yeah. But yeah.
He's not full-blown Hollywood because he's shit at self-promotion.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. But yeah, that was the drama. Yeah.
Anyway, so they're having a fucking debate. I feel like there's some interesting conversation coming out of the back of that. Just quickly, mentorship or intake for mentorship 11. We're in the early bird period. You can save yourself 20% off. There's going to be a link in the show notes, or you can just head to my link tree, Angus Bradley 92. Hit that link tree, and I believe it's the second link. You can find the early bird access to the mentorship on my Shopify there. And see us. Thank you.